Hello class, today we will start with another chapter, that is supply. We have started that there are two market forces which are required to determine the prices in the economy. One is the demand factor and the other is the supply factor. Now demand reflects the consumer's point of view. So far whatever we have done, that was all from the point of view of the consumers. How do consumers behave? How do they attain equilibrium? How do they make the decisions regarding consumption of commodities? So all these things was done from the point of view of the consumer. Now we will see the behavior of the seller, that how do the sellers and producers behave. Now supply, it refers to the quantities of a commodity which the producers or sellers are willing to produce and offer for sale at various prices. Now, here you have to pay attention on the word offer. That means they are willing to offer for sale in the market. It means that they may have produced more, say they have produced 10,000 units, but at different prices they will be ready to offer different quantities of a commodity. Say for example, say the consumer has produced 1000 units of pen. Now when the price of the pen is rupees 10, out of that 1000 units he is ready to only offer 100 units in the market for sale. So at rupees 10 the supply is 100 units. When the price rises, now when the price is rising, that means he's earning more profit, so he'll be willing to offer 200 units in the market for sale. Now keep in mind, supply is not the same as the goods sold. This is what he is offering in the market for sale. The consumers may end up buying less than this also. So at 20 rupees, the quantity supplied is 200 units. When the price rises further, 30, he is willing to offer 300 units in the market because higher profit now. At a higher price further, he will offer more units for sale in the market. So we can see the behavior of the seller here. That means the higher is the price, the quantity which he is offering for sale in the market is also increasing. Now, when we talk about supply, you must always keep in mind that it is always with reference to a certain price. When we talk about supply, we are talking of it at a particular price. You can see that at different prices, the goods that he is offering for sale is different. At 10 rupees, it is 100. At 20, it is 200. 30, it is 300, and so on. And like demand, supply is referred with at a particular price and over a particular period of time. That means supply of car in the month of October was 10,000 units, or 10,000 cars was the supply during the month of October. If we say that supply of car is 10,000, it does not make any sense. So the supply has to be at a particular price and it is also referred to a particular time period. The time period can be a day, a week, a month, a year, and so on. Now there's a difference between the term stock and supply. Now when the producer carries out production, he makes the commodities. But it is not important that he sends all the units that he has produced in the market. So the total amount of commodity available with the producer at any given time, say he has produced 10,000 units, so that is the total production, so that becomes the stock. And now if out of that stock he is ready to offer 500 units at rupees 10 per unit in the market, then 500 becomes the supply. So stock is the total amount available with the producer at any given point of time. That means if we are talking about stock, it has to be at a particular point of time. That means say we talk about stock. So stock is 10,000 units on 17th May. When we talk of supply, we don't talk of supply on a particular date. We talk it about a supply over a period of time. Now we say that the producer has supplied 500 units during the second week of May. So that becomes supply. So stock is measured at a particular point of time and supply is measured over a period of time. Stock is the total amount which is available with the producer, and supply is the amount which the seller is willing to offer for sale, or he is willing to bring it in the market at a particular price. If he does not want to send anything that he has produced, then there is no supply. Say I have produced 10,000 units, but at 10 rupees, I don't want to sell anything in the market. So I will not give it in the market for sale. So in that case, stock is 10,000, but supply is 0. For example, if a producer produces 1,000 units, the stock is 1,000, and he offers only 500 units at a price of rupees 5 per unit, then the supply is 500, not 1,000. So if you are asked to write the difference between stock and supply, the first difference would be that it is the amount which is available with the producer at any given point of time, and supply is what he is willing to offer for sale in the market at a particular price. The supply stock is measured at a particular point of time and supply is measured over a period of time. Supply can never exceed the stock. It will be either less than the stock or it will be equal to the stock. So these are the differences between stock and supply. One question which is asked is this, that what is the difference between stock and supply? Now, supply is also affected by various factors. There are different factors which affect the supply of the commodity. The first factor is the price of the commodity itself. Now, when we are studying each factor, the other factors are assumed to be constant. We keep the other factors constant so that it becomes convenient for us to study the impact of each factor. Now, price of the commodity. Now, if other things are constant and the price of the commodity rises, what will happen to the profit of the producer? The profit margin would rise. Say the cost of production is 10 rupees and the price is initially 20 rupees. So the profit margin was 10 rupees. Now, if for that given cost, the price of the commodity increases to rupees 30, the profit margin will now increase from 10 to 20. So at a higher price, the producers will offer more for sale in the market. So the higher is the price, the more is the supply. The lower is the price, the less is the supply. The second factor is goal of the producer. Now, you must be thinking that the producers will always want to maximize the profit. That's correct. But that is not always the aim of the producers. Now, they do try to maximize profit, but they may also try to maximize their sales and capture a bigger market. So there are different goals of the producer. So if the producer wants to maximize profit, then he will sell more units only when the price rises. If he wants to maximize sales, he will like to produce beyond the profit maximizing level of output. And if he wants to minimize the risk, then he will keep the production of the goods low and supply smaller quantities of goods in the market. Then comes the input prices. Now, goods are not produced in the air, or it doesn't come out of anywhere. We have to use certain factors to produce it. We need the raw material, we need machines, we need the labor. So all these things are required in the production of a commodity. Now, if the keeping the price of the commodity constant, we have already discussed in the beginning that the other factors will be kept constant. So here, if we keep the price of the commodity constant, if the input prices rises, that means the cost of production rises, obviously the profit margin of the producers will decline, and therefore they will want to supply lesser with a higher cost of production. So higher is the cost of production, lesser is the profit margin, and therefore lesser is the supply. Then the related commodities. Now we know that the producers have resources which he can divert to the production of other commodities. The producer does not always depend on one commodity. They produce different things. That means they can divert their resources, their money, to the production of other commodities. Say for example, there's a producer or seller who's producing pen and pencil both. Now, these are substitute goods, related goods. Now, if the price of pencil increases, the profit margin in the pencil will become more than the profit margin of pen. So the producer will definitely want to maximize profit. So he will shift from the production of pen to pencil. So if the price of the substitute goods rises, the producer will shift from the production of commodity to the production of its substitute goods. Then comes techniques of production. Now we know that the techniques of productions have been developing ever since. There are new innovations, technological development. Now, when the technology improves, when there is technological advancement, there is invention of a new machine, the new machinery, it increases the production and also reduces the cost of production. So when the cost of production reduces, the profit margin of the seller increases. Therefore, with the improvement in technology, the supply always increases. But if the producer is using outdated technology, the cost of production will be higher and therefore the profit margin would reduce. Therefore, it reduces the supply. So an improvement in technology reduces the cost of production, so supply increases, and if the outdated technology is used, cost is increased and the supply therefore reduces. Now next comes nature of industry. Now nature of industry means whether the industry is a monopoly industry or it is a competitive industry. Now, monopoly means that there is only one firm. So if there is only one firm, the producer will like to restrict the output. One firm means there is no other seller who is selling the same commodity. So he will restrict the output in order to create scarcity in the market. And when there is scarcity, the price of the commodity would rise. So a monopolist will usually try to restrict the output to increase the price. But if there are many sellers, if there is competition in the market, then the sellers will want to increase the output, not restrict the output. So competitive firms will sell more as compared to the monopoly market. So when you're asked about nature of industry, you will mention about competitive firms and the monopoly firm, and then mention that monopoly restricts the output to raise the price, and competitive firms, they try to increase the output. Now, policy of taxation and subsidies by the government. Now, if the government increases the tax on the commodity, obviously the cost of production for the commodity will increase. Now, thereby reducing the profit margin of the producers. So they will tend to supply lesser. Subsidies, on the other hand, add to the benefit of the suppliers, and therefore the supply of the commodities increases. So taxation will reduce the supply and subsidies would increase the supply. Expectation about future prices. Now, if the seller expects that the price of the commodity is going to rise in future, he will reduce the supply of the commodity today in order to earn higher profit in future. So the expectation also affects the supply of the commodity. Natural factors like drought, flood, unfavorable climatic conditions. Now, these also affect the supply of the commodity, and especially for the agricultural products. Now, so if there's a drought or flood, obviously the agricultural produce is going to be less, and therefore the supply will be adversely affected. And if the conditions are natural conditions are favorable, then there is bounty of crops. That means there is surplus. Then there is agreement among producers. Now, sometimes what happens that the producers, they enter into an agreement and they restrict the supply. Now, by restricting supply, they aim at increasing the price of the commodity, and therefore they want to earn higher profits. So if the producers agree to enter into a contract or agreement and restrict the supply, reduce the supply to earn larger profit, in such a case, the supply for the commodity will decrease. Availability of transport and communication facilities. Now, if the transport and communication facilities will expand, the size of the market will also expand and the producers will be able to supply more. Say, for example, if the roads are not well developed, there are not enough vehicles to carry the goods from one place to another, the producers will not be able to sell the goods and therefore they will not want to produce more. So, better transport and communication facilities, they motivate the producers to produce and supply more. So these are the factors affecting supply for a commodity. In the next video, we will take up the law of supply, supply function, law of supply, the supply, individual supply schedule, individual supply curve, etc. Till then, stay safe and take care. Thank you.